Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us here. We are here to talk about the Jamf Marketplace. We will talk through some integrations and the tools that we see some of the organizations that we help and customer support use. My name is Jesse Brandenburg, and I am joined here by my colleague, Corey Fox. We both work on the Enterprise Customer Success team, where we help some of the largest customers that Jamf serves find the best practices for their organization. We also help them integrate new workflows and plan for future projects and deployments. Now, I want to point out at the bottom of each slide, you'll notice a link to all the resources that we're going to cover and talk through today at jamf.it/Jamf Marketplace and Customer Success. So today's agenda will be pretty simple. We're going to wrap up our quick introduction and move on to discuss some featured applications found in the Jamf Marketplace. We'll give an overview of some of the additional applications that we've seen meet our customers' requirements and use cases. Finally, we'll talk about some good next steps. Although this presentation has been recorded, we will be available, both Corey and I, to live chat. So if you have any questions during the presentation, please be sure to ask and we'll be happy to assist. As I mentioned, the jamf.it/Jamf Marketplace and Customer Success link is where you'll find all the documentation that has the direct links to the tools and the resources that we talk through today. So, when deciding on what applications to focus on, we chose to share a few that we see used by our customers most often. Even though we won't have time to go into depth on all of the applications here today, each one of them has some specific use cases, and we wanted to make sure that we pointed out how you might find yourself using these tools and how they could potentially make your workflows easier. I will talk through the implementation and all the way through to the end results of using the log collection utility, and then I'll hand it over to Corey to talk through the mass update tool. So, to start with the log collection utility, it's a tool that allows a Jamf Pro administrator to remotely collect device logs. While no user interaction is required, the application can also be delivered through self-service, and that would allow the user to provide the logs more interactively. We see many of our customers trying to streamline their support experience for the end user, and the log collection utility allows them to provide a path of non-invasive troubleshooting. This utility can save time for the end user and the admin when it comes to solving device-level issues. So in the next few slides, I'm going to walk through how to implement the log collection utility starting from scratch. The goal is to demonstrate how quickly and easily it is to fold in a free and powerful new application into your environment. To summarize the next steps, we will walk through grabbing the latest version of the log collection shell script from GitHub, upload it into Jamf Pro, and then deploy the policy via self-service or automatically. So to get started, we're going to want to navigate to our Jamf Marketplace. That can be found at marketplace.jamf.com. There, you'll see a search bar where you can search for log collection. After reviewing the description and the reviews, we'll select the large Get It blue button in the top right-hand corner. Now, for this application, selecting the Get It button will take us over to the GitHub landing page for the application. Here, we can review the complete application resources to ensure that we understand the details of how this application functions. I strongly recommend reviewing the README file for a complete understanding of this example and any other application or script that's downloaded from GitHub. In this example, the README indicates that we can select the log collection.sh shell script file to review the code that's needed before we upload it into Jamf Pro. So after selecting that, once you can see it, it will show you the code that will be executed. Again, this is a point where I recommend reviewing this to a level in which you're comfortable in understanding how the application will function. Once you have completed your review, We can select all of the text and copy the script for eventual placement into our Jamf Pro environment. Next, we're going to jump over to our Jamf Pro instance and navigate into the settings, computer management, and then find our scripts. It's here where we will create a new script, provide a recognizable name, category, and any additional information that is applicable to your organization. Once the general information is set, we navigate to the script tab, where we can paste in the script that we copied from the log collection page in GitHub. Once the script has been pasted in, it makes sense to navigate to the Options tab to populate the parameters. The information can also be found within the GitHub resources, so we should set parameter 4 to the value of Jamf Pro URL, where the policy implementation format of https://yourinstancename.jamfcloud.com will be required. Parameter 5 should be set to Jamf Pro username, and parameter 6 should be set to Jamf Pro password. This user account that you use will need to have access to create, read, and update the computers so that the API call in the script can upload an attachment to the device record running the command. There's also additional information on how you can implement encrypted strings for a more secure implementation. Parameter 6 should be set to log files, and this will hold the location of the file or files that will be collected and uploaded from the device. The format of this information is shown on the slide and requires the full Unix path with optional wildcards. You can collect multiple files by separating them with just a space. The recommended paths include the installation logs that can be found in the private var log directory, where you can collect your install.log files ending with a wildcard to collect additional ones. The Jamf logs, which can be found in the private var log jamf.log, and finally the system log, which can be found in the private var log/system log. Now, once we've completed the script setup in Jamf Pro settings, we're ready to create a policy to deploy to our computers in the environment. This is the point where you can configure the workflow to meet your environment requirements. If you need to utilize self-service for this deployment, you can set that up with a welcoming icon and instructions that let the user know what will take place when they kick it off. Alternatively, you can execute this silently to a machine or machines to avoid disrupting the user's day-to-day work. Once the policy has been completed and scoped to the machines that you'd like to collect logs from, a zip file will be uploaded to the Attachments tab within the computer record in your Jamf Pro environment. Here, the administrator can download the file and review the logs to continue troubleshooting. Once we get here, that completes the implementation of the log collection utility. And at this point, I'm going to kick it over to Corey to talk through the mass update tool.
Thanks, Jesse. The next tool we're going to talk about is the MUT, or Mass Update tool. For many of the organizations that I work with, making updates to device attributes can be a very time-consuming process. But through the use of this simple-to-use tool, it's easy for you to do the things like update the department name for your newly created customer success team, or perhaps edit the device location for those employees who are now working remotely full-time on multiple device records at the same time. You can find information regarding the MUT in the Jamf Marketplace, and when you're ready to download it, you can select Get It, and you'll be directed to the Mac App Store to download. Once downloaded and installed, as you open up the application, you'll be asked to input the instance URL, a username, and password for the account. By signing directly into your instance here, you'll be able to allow the MUT to make those changes directly within your instance. The MUT works by updating the information found in the included CSV templates. You can download the latest versions of the templates by simply clicking the Download CSV Templates button. After saving and unzipping the file, you'll find a set of templates to use to update specific areas within Jamf. For our example, we'll be updating a computer record. When looking to update the information, it's important to note that the MUT will be looking to update specific records based on serial number, which you will include in the CSV file. For some sections, such as department or building, it's important to remember that for you to update the information in Jamf, that particular department or building must already exist. If it does not, you'll get an error and nothing will be updated. In our example, we'll be updating the department and building for this computer. When you're ready to make those changes, return to the MUT application and select Browse for Filled Out CSV to find your newly updated CSV file. Once uploaded, you'll see a preview of the changes that you're about to make to the associated serial numbers. If everything looks correct, hit Submit Updates on the bottom. Once submitted, you can review the changes in your Jamf instance by navigating to one of the computers and verifying that the changes have taken place. If you find that the changes were not completed successfully, you may review log information by going back to the MUT application, navigating to the settings in the menu bar, and selecting Open Logs to see what may have happened. Customer reviews are a relatively new feature within the Jamf Marketplace, and I couldn't think of a better way to share how useful an application like the Mass Update tool can be than to share with you what other admins are saying about it. I could tell you how wonderful I hear it is from the organizations that I help, but these reviews are from actual admins, like yourself, who are utilizing these tools in their environments. I will admit that at the time of this, there were only 4 reviews for the MUT, but it's still a great sign as the review feature is pretty new. Overall, we can see that the single theme running through these reviews is that the Mass Update tool saves the admin time, which we all know equals saving an organization money. Now that we've taken a deeper dive into log collection and the Mass Update tool, we wanted to take a few minutes to highlight a few other tools that you can find in the Jamf Marketplace. Some of these you may already have used, but if not, here's a brief overview of these applications. Let's go back to Jesse, who will chat about JAlly.
Thanks, Corey. So JAlly is a tool that allows you to easily view and manage some of the basic information about iOS devices in your Jamf Pro installation. This can be performed with a few taps without requiring opening a web browser to access your installation. This application can allow users to perform actions like viewing device assignments based on a username, a serial number, or asset tag. It also allows you to check on inventory information, such as the iOS version, battery, free space levels, IP or MAC address, last inventory date, and the warranty information if that's configured for your installation. Viewing information is great, but where this can really help our customers with workflows is performing some of those management actions on these devices. Some of the actions that a user could perform include restarting or shutting down for devices that are supervised, updating inventory, and removing or reapplying configuration profiles. If this app sounds like something that could help prove efficiency or productivity in your environment, please go check it out. Now, next up is one of my personal favorite tools, and it is called Jamf Migrator. If you're not familiar with it, this powerful tool can migrate data granularly between Jamf Pro servers. It allows for migrating items from one Jamf Pro server or an XML file to another. A common or a typical workflow that we see our customers use would be where they would be moving objects from their production instance to a development instance or vice versa. In the process of migrating, if an item based on a name within a category exists on both the source location and the destination item will be updated with the values from the source server. Some of the different types of objects that can be migrated include groups, policies, and configuration profiles. These objects can even be targeted to a particular site if that's something that you're using in your Jamf Pro environment. Also, policies may have their dependencies checked and migrated using the Migrate Dependencies feature. While the Jamf Migrator tool does not move your packages from one JCDS to another, we have a little bonus tool, which is the Jamf CPR tool that you can check out. This tool selectively copies packages from one JCDS, AFP, or SMB file share, or local folder to another JCDS. The Jamf CPR tool can also be used to download packages from a JCDS to your local machine. If you haven't had a chance to, go check out these tools and familiarize yourself with their capabilities. Now, lastly, to wrap things up, I'll pass it back to Corey to chat through a couple more tools and our next steps.
Thanks, Jesse. AutoPKG is another popular integration and deployment tool that can be found in the Jamf Marketplace. AutoPKG was designed to automate the process of checking for software updates, downloading them, preparing them for mass distribution, and then uploading them to your software distribution tool. There are multiple add-on integrations for AutoPKG within the marketplace that make utilizing the tool much more user-friendly, such as AutoPackager, Jamf Uploader, and the JSS Importer. Each of these additional tools enhances the use of AutoPKG. For a more in-depth look at AutoPKG, check out the JNUC 2019 session linked in the presentation documents. To go along with AutoPKG, we have Spruce 3. As our instances grow with more and more packages, scripts, and policies, it's easy to forget which ones are in use and which ones are no longer relevant. Spruce 3 looks to find those objects that have no current usage or are out of date, so that you are able to remove them. Due to the nature of how Spruce 3 was developed, they suggest installing it through AutoPKG and the JSS Importer. So if you're looking to utilize the AutoPKG toolset to make your deployment of packages easier, be sure to include Spruce 3, so you can clean up any of those packages that are getting out of date and are no longer needed. We've covered quite a bit of information during this short presentation, and while we've tried to share some of those tools that we find the organizations we're supporting utilizing, we encourage you to visit the Jamf Marketplace yourself. Here you will be able to search through over 200 different solutions found there, and while you're there, start to rate and review those tools so that you've used in the past to help your fellow admins find solutions that will benefit their organization. Your feedback will help the Jamf Marketplace and the solutions within it get even better. We appreciate the time that you've spent with us here today. Please feel free to reach out to the customer success team by emailing success@jamf.com if you have any further questions about the Jamf Marketplace or just want to connect with your customer success manager. We love hearing from you and helping you enhance how Jamf is supporting your organization. Thanks.